Survivor did change my life. The experience on the show touched on every part of me as a human, physical, social, spiritual, environmental, similar to the way that cancer touches you. But as we all know, cancer is not a game. Living with barely enough food and water and TV cameras for 39 days was torture. But the real challenge came when I suddenly had to figure out, what do you do when you win $1 million? So I get home from the show, I got some money in my pocket, I got 15 minutes of fame, and it didn't take me long to leave that reality show and go back to reality. Because for winning that money made me take a good hard look at who I was and who I wanted to become. And maybe a TV and a car and apartment would make me temporarily happy, but I wanted to be the type of person who used his celebrity and his money to make a difference in the lives of others. So I took my $1 million and I invested in something much bigger than myself. I co-founded a charity called Grassroots Soccer, and we used the power of soccer in the fight against HIV and AIDS. I was 35 years old, on top of the world, training for the New York City Marathon, feeling happy, healthy, dating this hot chick. And I had some really itchy skin, and no one could figure out what it was. I tried every pill, cream, potion, went to every doctor on the planet, nothing. Until a swollen lymph node popped out of my neck, and they found a mass in my chest. And after 4 months of wondering what was going on inside me, I was diagnosed with a rare form of lymphoma called CD20 positive Hodgkin's lymphoma. As you can imagine, my life was flipped upside down. But the doctors, they told me I had a good cancer, 90% survival rate. And to me, there are no good cancers, just like there's no good wars and there's no good earthquakes, but I was happy about the diagnosis, and when a doctor tells you to do something or you'll die, you pretty much do it. And I was placed on 2 different forms of chemotherapy, didn't work, 22 blasts of radiation, didn't work, and then I had an autologous stem cell transplant. And there were some pretty horrible days going through that situation. Times where I felt like my whole body had turned against me. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, my hair was falling out, I had no energy, I felt miserable. But that process got the cancer into remission for a while. Late in the summer of 2011, I started getting itchy all over again. I went in for my normally scheduled PET scan, and they found 7 new nodes of cancerous growth in my chest. And I was re-diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma on September 28, 2011. And as a patient, it's really hard to articulate what it feels like to be seriously ill. It pays to have a positive outlook, but when your team of doctors try multiple ways of healing you that don't work, you panic. I craved survival, but there was this moment, another moment I had that changed it all. I went into Memorial Sloan Kettering for my 3rd cancer treatment, and I walked into that waiting room, and what punched me in the stomach, and what punches me in the stomach every single time, is that it was full. There were so many people there, always. And we sit there like strangers, yet we're so connected by this horrible situation. And then my mom and I saw this woman who was having a complete meltdown because her 4-year-old son had been whisked away to get treatment. And my mom, she stood up, she walked over to this woman, and she sat down, she put her arm around her, and she said, "That's my son. He has cancer too. It's gonna be okay." And that was the time I'm like, I don't want to do nothing anymore. Because everyone goes through cancer alone, and no one can really understand what it's like to go through cancer, and everyone's experience is unique. But it was comforting for me to know that when you do feel really alone, like devastatingly alone, that I could connect with someone who's going through something similar. It put me in charge. It was empowering. And my generation of survivors, we're more open about, our cancer experience, willing to share our status, not hiding it, and openly looking for others to connect with. We like the gritty honesty, the real-time, updates and data, instant support, and recognizing ourselves in others is, quite powerful. This room is filled with incredible CEOs, amazing, activists, scientists, but we've heard this before. Once you hear those three words, you have cancer, we're all the same. Cancer doesn't care who you are, what you do, how much money you make, or if you've suffered before. The key is to do more than just come here today. It's to leave here motivated to challenge the status quo and to make a difference for yourself by making a difference for others. To make happiness real for others is truly the greatest gift. Follow your heart, fight for a cause, see the hope that is born in someone else's eyes because of something that we can do for them. So thank you very much for having me here. Thank you for all that you're doing to make a meaningful difference in the cancer community. Thank you.